Here we are on step 3 of the Profit First for Real Estate Investing system. And this is one where a lot of people might not even know this exists. That's why I call it the secret weapon of business. And before I go into what the secret weapon is, I want to tell you a story. You're going to start making money in real estate, especially if you're taking courses like this. You're going to be learning from masters in the business. I know a lot of my fellow recordees here, the masterclass instructors, and they are incredible people. They're going to help you make that moolah. You're going to be able to make a lot of money. I know that if you make a lot of money, you start to feel invincible. You start getting rich, you start seeing those bank accounts add up, and you start feeling like nothing can touch me. Well, that's where I want to tell you this story. If you don't know Robert Allen, he is the author of a lot of real estate books, and he also wrote the 1 Minute Millionaire, the multiple streams of income as well. He's had a huge impact on my life, and I've gotten to be good friends with him in a couple masterminds that we're a part of, and he told this story from the stage, and it bowled me over. He said a few years ago, it was quite a few years ago, in the late 80s, early 90s, he bought a mountain retreat home. It was several $1 million. And he also had a lot of equity because of all the success he'd had up to this point. This was after he sold a lot of his books, and he did, seminars back then and had his own real estate business. Well, he poured a lot of his own money into that property and leveraged that property with other properties like other multifamily units and commercial space. Well, it turns out that the week before they go to move in, Robert and his wife, an avalanche comes and destroys the property. And he goes to file the insurance claim, and they deny it because of one clause inside of there, and he loses everything. He loses his net worth, he loses his equity in the house, he loses the whole thing, and then he lost the properties too that were leveraged by the equity in the property that got destroyed. It was a crazy, crazy story. He's since recovered since then over the past couple decades, but he told that story to say, when you're rich, you feel invincible. And I ask you from that story, what is your avalanche? What do you not see coming down the road? If you implement these couple steps that we talked about, you will start gaining money and gaining traction and more money in your pocket. I don't want to see you lose it all. Robert was able to make it back over the last few decades because he had the proper habits. He had those wealth habits from an early age. But I want to save you from some of those things and guide you to a better place. So how does this tie into this point number 3, the secret weapon of business? The secret weapon of business is fractional leadership and fractional team members on your team, whether that be a fractional COO to help you with your operations or a CFO to help you with the financial portion. If you are the business owner, usually operations and finances are not your core genius. Your core genius is going out there and getting the deal done. It's writing the books, it's doing the deals, it's closing them, it's buying the big multifamilies or buying the single family houses or whatever it is that lights you up. It's negotiating with sellers. It's usually that is what you love to do. But with fractional leadership, a lot of people don't understand this, that there's people out there that can help you get to where you want to be at the fraction of the cost of a full-time employee. Because a lot of people, when you first get into real estate, you might have some other masterclass people that tell you, like, hire a virtual assistant first and get that admin work off your plate. And I 100% agree with that. And as you grow and scale, you're going to say, I'm going to need better people on my team. And you're always going to be looking for a lack of the better word, the cheapest option. And sometimes cheapest is not the best. Let's just start there. But number 2, you're not going to be able to go out usually when you first start ramping up and hire a $200,000 employee or a $250,000 employee to help you track all of this and make sure that you're actually on track with a financial officer or an operations officer or that person that's going to help you take you to those end zones. That's where I want to at least tell you about the secret weapon that's out there, fractional type leadership. For either operations to make sure that your operations are running smoothly, or finances of, if you're like, you watch this video and the past couple courses and the past couple, modules here, and you're like, this sounds great and I want to implement it, but I need help. There's people out there that can help you actually implement it as well too. That's why I don't want you to just be left in the dark and saying, oh man, this sounds great, but I'm not going to implement it. Or you need accountability. That's one of the biggest reasons people succeed in business, is because they're held accountable to someone. So maybe you need someone who has that leadership in that one area of the business, like the finances, to be able to make sure that you're actually implementing it and guiding you away from those avalanches. Remember how I talked about the avalanche story with Robert Allen? It's also helping you save yourself from utter destruction. What is the number one reason most entrepreneurs, real estate investors go out of business? Because of cash flow. They run out of money. That sounds pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have money, you don't have a business. And that's where you have to make sure you don't run into that situation. So someone in those leadership levels can help you and guide you toward that end zone of more profitability, saving you from that, the utter destruction and failure and destroying your business because you've ran out of the money, or you started doing fix and flip projects and now you've got 10 of them in a row and you didn't get enough private money on each one of them. So you're having to dip into your own reserves, but then those run dry and now you're completely out of money. I don't want you to get into those situations as a real estate investor. So that's why I want to at least tell you about these other options out there to make sure you know that they're even out there. I didn't know about these until a few years ago, and it totally revolutionized the way I view business, because I always thought, CFO or COO, I'm going to have to wait years and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for, a great one. When there's people out there that can help you almost be a mentor and coach for that one specific area. Just like you're taking a course here, this could be an area for you that's just helping you with the finances or with the operations or something specific, a specific department in your business. So I want to make sure that you at least know about it, because if you're like I said, if you're like, I need to implement this, but I have no idea how to, or I need to be held accountable, because the number one way I hear people mess up profit first for real estate investing is they set everything up, but then they steal from all their accounts and they use that money and they don't actually build the habits. They put money in the profit account, but then they drain it every single month because they're like, I don't know how much to put in there. I want to make sure that you have at least an outlet to be able to say there's people out there that can help me and hold me accountable. So with this step number 3, the secret weapon of business, that fractional leadership, I put you one step closer to unlocking the secret weapon just by knowing about it. So the secret weapon is there to ask the questions you don't even know to ask. Because if you're not the operations person or the finance person, you might not even know the questions you should be asking yourself as a business owner. Because doing deals and closing real estate deals and transactions is a lot different than running an actual business. You have to know a lot of the different areas. So they're going to be able to help you ask the questions you need to be able to ask yourself. So reach out to someone for help if you need it. That's step number 3.